Ed Wynn was a popular American comedian and actor noted for his perfect full comedy character, his pioneering radio show of the 1930s, and his later career as a dramatic actor. Wynn began his career in vaudeville in 1903 and was a star of the Ziegfeld Follies starting in 1914. During the Follies of 1915, W.C. Fields allegedly caught Wynn mugging for the audience under the table during his pool room routine and knocked him unconscious with his cue. Wynn wrote, directed, and produced many Broadway shows in the subsequent decades, and was known for his silly costumes and props as well as for the giggly, wavering voice he developed for the 1921 musical revue, The Perfect Fool. Early life: Ed Wynn was a Jewish-American comedian who was born Isaiah Edwin Leopold in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His father, who manufactured and sold women's hats, was born in Bohemia. His mother, of Romanian and Turkish ancestry, came from Istanbul. Wynn attended Central High School in Philadelphia until age 15. He ran away from home in his teens, worked as a hat salesman and as a utility boy, and eventually adapted his middle name Edwin into his new stage name, Ed Wynn, to save his family the embarrassment of having a lowly comedian as a relative. Radio. Although many gag writers later provided material for Wynn's performances in radio, television and movies, he was proud to boast that he had written every line he ever spoke during his early career as a stage performer. In the early 1930s, Wynn hosted the popular radio show The Fire Chief, heard in North America on Tuesday nights, sponsored by Texaco Gasoline. Like many former vaudeville performers who turned to radio in the same decade, the stage-trained Wynn insisted on playing for a live studio audience, doing each program as an actual stage show, using visual bits to augment his written material, and in his case, wearing a colorful costume with a red fireman's helmet. He usually bounced his gags off announcer straight man Graham McNamee. Wynn's customary opening, "Tonight, Graham, the show's gonna be different," became one of the most familiar taglines of its time. A sample joke, "Graham, my uncle just bought a new second-handed car. He calls it Baby. I don't know, it won't go any place without a rattle." Wynn reprised his fire chief radio character in two movies, Follow the Leader and The Chief. Near the height of his radio fame, he founded his own short-lived radio network, the Amalgamated Broadcasting System, which lasted only 5 weeks, nearly destroying the comedian. According to radio historian Elizabeth MacLeod, the failed venture left Wynn deep in debt, divorced and finally, suffering a nervous breakdown. Wynn was offered the title role in MGM's 1939 screen adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, but turned it down, as did his Ziegfeld contemporary W.C. Fields. The part went to Frank Morgan. Television. In the 1949-50 season, Ed Wynn hosted one of the first comedy variety television shows, on CBS, and won both a Peabody Award and an Emmy Award in 1949. Buster Keaton, Lucille Ball, and the Three Stooges all made guest appearances with Wynn. This was the first CBS variety television show to originate in Los Angeles, with programs filmed via Kindscope for distribution in the Midwest and East. Wynn was also a rotating host of NBC's Four-Star Review from 1950 through 1952. After the end of Wynn's third television series, The Ed Wynn Show, his son, actor Keenan Wynn, encouraged him to make a career change rather than retire. The comedian reluctantly began a career as a dramatic actor in television and movies. Father and son appeared in 3 productions, the first of which was the 1956 Playhouse 90 broadcast of Rod Serling's play Requiem for a Heavyweight. Ed was terrified of straight acting and kept goofing his lines in rehearsal. When the producers wanted to fire him, star Jack Palance said he would quit if they fired Ed. On live broadcast night, Wynn surprised everyone with his pitch-perfect performance, and his quick ad-libs to cover his mistakes. A dramatization of what happened during the production was later staged as an April 1960 Westinghouse Diesel Playhouse episode, The Man in the Funny Suit, starring both senior and junior Wynns, with key figures involved in the original production also portraying themselves. Ed and his son also worked together in the Jose Ferrer film The Great Man, with Ed again proving his unexpected skills in drama. Requiem established Wynn as serious dramatic actor who could easily hold his own with the best. His role in The Diary of Anne Frank won him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Also in 1959, Wynn appeared on Serling's TV series The Twilight Zone and One for the Angels. Serling, a longtime admirer, had written that episode especially for him, and Wynn later in 1963 starred in the episode 90 Years Without Slumbering. For the rest of his life, Ed skillfully moved between comic and dramatic roles. He appeared in feature films and anthology television, endearing himself to new generations of fans. Also appeared in an episode of Bonanza, titled, The Ponderosa Birdman as Professor Phineas T. Clump in 1965. Cartoons. Wynn was caricatured in the Merry Melodies cartoon short Shuffle Off to Buffalo and as a pot of jam in the Betty Boop short Betty in Blunderland. Films. He appeared as the fairy godfather in Jerry Lewis' Cinderella. His performance as Paul Biaselli in the 1958 film The Great Man earned him nominations for a Best Supporting Actor Golden Globe Award and a Best Foreign Actor BAFTA Award. The following year saw him receive his first nomination for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role as Mr. Dussel in The Diary of Anne Frank. 6 years later he would also appear in Bible epic The Greatest Story Ever Told. Work with Disney. Wynn provided the voice of the Mad Hatter in Walt Disney's film, Alice in Wonderland, but many baby boomer children remember him most fondly for his brief appearances as the toymaker alongside Masakatira Annette Funicello and Tommy Sands in Walt Disney's Babes in Toyland released in 1961. Possibly his best remembered film appearance, though, was as Uncle Albert in Walt Disney's Mary Poppins. His segment involved the eccentric man floating around just beneath the ceiling in uncontrollable mirth, singing I Love to Laugh, and was one of the film's highlights. Re-teaming with the Disney team the following year, in That Dan Cat. Featuring Dean Jones and Hayley Mills, Wynn filled out the character of Mr. Hofstadter, the watch jeweler with his bumbling charm. He also had brief roles in The Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber. His final performance, as Rufus in Walt Disney's The No Mobile, was released a few months after his death. In addition to Disney films, Wynn was also a popular character in the Disneyland production The Golden Horseshoe Revue. Death. Wynn died June 19, 1966 in Beverly Hills, California of throat cancer, aged 79. He was interred at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, and his gravestone reads Dear God, Thanks. Ed Wynn. According to his granddaughter Hilda Levine, Walt Disney served as one of his casket bearers. Red Skelton, who was discovered by Wynn, stated, his death is the first time he ever made anyone sad. Legacy. The distinctive voice which Wynn created for his Perfect Fool character has remained much imitated. Hanna-Barbera's Wally Gator's voice, performed by Dawes Butler, was an impersonation of the Perfect Fool, as was Paul Frees's Captain Peter Peachfuzz character in the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show. Other notable characters inspired by Wynn include, Terry Toon's Gandy Goose, Dr. Blinky in H.R. Pufnstuf, Fleagle in the Banana Splits, Mayor Mackey's in commercials for McDonaldland, Thanatos in Kid Icarus Uprising, Choose Goose in Adventure Time, King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph, Zagras in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and Molto in the PBS animated series Zula Patrol. He is frequently imitated by Ralph Garman of the Hollywood Babble-On podcast on Kevin Smith's Smodcast Network and by Mike Bell of the Attack of the 50 Feet Nerds podcast on the panels on Pages Pop Cast Network. In computer-animated versions of Max Lucado's Wemix book series, the mayor speaks much like Wynn. Wynn was posthumously named a Disney legend on August 10, 2013. Quotations, a comic says funny things. A comedian says things funny. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Heck, I'll take that and more. Life is for the living. You know. Broadway and films, The Deacon and the Lady, musical, actor-performer, Ziegfeld Follies of 1914, review, actor-performer, Ziegfeld Follies of 1915, review, actor-performer, The Passing Show of 1916, review, actor-performer, Sometime, play, actor, Ed Wynn's Carnival, review, composer, lyricist, book writer and performer actor, The All-Star Idlers of 1921, review, actor-performer, The Perfect Fool, review, composer, lyricist, book writer, director and actor-performer, The Grab Bag, review, producer, composer, lyricist, book writer and actor-performer, Manhattan Mary, musical, actor in the role of Crickets, Simple Simon, musical, co-book writer and actor, revived in 1931. The Laugh Parade, review, producer, co-book writer, director, originator and star actor-performer, The Chief, actor, Midsummer Night's Dream, actor, uncredited, Alistair Catt, play, producer, Hooray for What? Musical, actor in the role of Chuckles, Morose Thoughts, review, producer, book co-author, and actor, Boys and Girls Together, review, producer, co-book writer, originator, director and actor-performer, Laugh, Town, Laugh. Review, producer, book writer and director, Stage Door Canteen, as himself, Alice in Wonderland, voice actor, Marjorie Morningstar, actor, The Diary of Anne Frank, actor, Cinderfear, actor, Babes in Toyland, actor, The Absent-Minded Professor, actor, The Sound of Laughter, actor, Son of Flubber, actor, Mary Poppins, actor, The Greatest Story Ever Told, actor, That Dan Cat, actor, Those Colorways, actor, The Daydreamer, voice actor, The No Mobile, actor, released after his death, Listen to, Radio Journeys, Texaco Fire Chief, Those Colorways, references. External links. Ed Wynn at the Internet Movie Database, Ed Wynn at the Internet Broadway Database, Ed Wynn at Find a Grave, The Ed Wynn Show at Classic TV Info. 4-star review All-Star Review at Classic TV Info. Biography of Ed Wynn at ed-wynn.info.